First Updates Now is brought to you by viewers like you. Fun relies on the generous support of our fans in order to continue to keep creating content. Please consider donating, giving bits, or subscribing. Subscribe for a few bucks a month or for free through Twitch Prime. And don't forget that our subscribers get 5x chance to win on all giveaways. I drove myself crazy.
Hello and welcome to FTC Live, now airing on First Updates Now. In this hour of the show, we'll be recapping the Houston Championships. We'll be talking about the amazing award winners from this championships and the division and event finals. Following the show, we will talk about the future of FTC and a little bit of our predictions for FTC Rover Ruckus. Reporting for FTC Live, I'm Ethan.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Shashir.
I'm Madeline.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Winston.
So, if you have any questions that you would like to be read during our Q&A segment towards the end of the show, please tag First Updates Now and type your question right into the chat. If we don't get to your question, we will try to answer it in chat after the show.
So tonight we have an awesome giveaway brought to you by Rev Robotics. They're an awesome supplier of FTC parts and electronics. If your team hasn't already, make sure you buy a set of Rev expansion hubs. There are major differences between the expansion hubs and the modern robotic systems, but the biggest thing is that the Rev hubs work very well and take up a lot less space. They have saved my team season after we had major issues with the modern robotics electronics during Rescue and Velocity Vortex. So let's bring on our producer Tyler to provide us more details on how to win.
Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, guys, if you watched the previous show or you're just tuning in live for the first time, well, if you're tuning in offline, I guess you don't get the win. But if you are tuning in live, if you'd like a chance to win this awesome pair of smart robot servos, and yes, I did say pair, you get to win two of them. That's an amazing $60 value provided by Rev Robotics. All you have to do is either follow the channel, click that little follow button up there on your screen, or if you'd like 5 times chance to win and you appreciate content like FTC Live, go ahead and click the subscribe button for a few bucks a month, or for free through Twitch Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime or your parents have Amazon Prime, you can link your account and you get a free credit for subscription every month. And we appreciate those supporting First Updates Now and shows like FTC Live. Don't forget to hold on to the keyword, which will be coming up later on during the show.
All right, so let's jump right in with our Inspire Award. The Inspire Award nominees for the Houston Championship were teams 8668 Error 404, team name not found, from Houston, Texas, 9879 Root -1 from Springdale, Arizona, and 10641 Atomic Gears from Shawnee, Oklahoma. The Inspire Award winner hails from Oviedo, Florida, and is Team 7477 Super 7.
Interestingly enough, the Inspire Award winner Super 7 was not an Inspire finalist or winner at their Super Regional event. They didn't even win or get nominated for any awards at the Super Regional. Their last Inspire nomination was when they won the third place Inspire Award at the Florida FTC Championship, where they also won the Connect Award. According to Super 7's website, they have presented to engineers at Lockheed Martin. They presented at the Inter-Service Industry Training, Simulation, and Education Conference, which is the world's largest modeling, simulation, and training conference. They also mentor FLL team Error 404.
Yeah, that team was definitely one of the best ones that I've seen over there. Super 7 is a real name in this game, and I'm so glad that they got the Inspire Award. So moving on to the Think Award. The Think Award nominees were team 9879 Root -1 from Springdale, Arkansas, 6436 Alpha Genesis from Hacienda Heights, California, 6547 Caps Cobalt Colts from Overland Park, Kansas, 8477 The Roaming Robots from Charleston, South Carolina, and 8668 Error 404 Team Not Named Not Found from Houston, Texas. The Think Award winners were Team 6929 Data Force from Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
Data Force was really just a great team overall. They were the event winners, the West Super Regionals with Redneck, and they had a great notebook and an even better season. They were on the Jamison Finalist Alliance at the Houston Championships, and like a serious congrats to you guys.
Absolutely. And moving on to the Connect Award, the nominees were teams 4216 Rise of Hephaestus from San Diego, California, 5795 Back to the Drawing Board from Greensboro, North Carolina, 9761 Prestidigitators from St. George, Utah, 7477 Super 7 from Oviedo, Florida, and 11,089 Bites of Kit Kats from Portland, Oregon. The Connect Award winner were Team 417 Skid from Woodinville, Washington.
Whoops, sorry, I was trying to figure something out. 417 Skid's last Connect Award win was at the Washington State FTC tournament, and at West Super Regionals, they got a Think Award nomination. So if we can go to that link, Tyler. Yep, no worries. We'll get a link up on the screen to show you guys. But one of their big initiatives that they've done is that they're raising money or have raised money to travel to Botswana in South Africa to teach kids how to use the Lego Mindstorms kit. Their website's not super clear. Also, the donation page is not super clear. But it looks like the team may have already gone last summer and that they're trying to start an FLL team there. Regardless, if you would like to help with their robotics initiative in Botswana and have some money that you could donate, you can go to their website, which is swerverobotics.org, and then you click donate. If you say that you want the money to go to Botswana, the team will take your funds and put it directly to buying more Mindstorms kits for the team. Mindstorms kits for kids there. To me, I think that's a great initiative. It's always great when I hear about first teams spreading the word across the globe and going to parts of the world that don't have any first teams currently. So I think it's awesome that they're trying to give FLL kits or Mindstorms kits to kids that probably wouldn't have experiences like this before.
Yeah, and I was really close to Skid, and they're a really fantastic team. So if you can donate, you absolutely should. Now, on to the Innovate Award. Innovate Award nominees were Team 7398 Blue Crew from Summit, Missouri, 11104 The Bearded Pineapples from Kirkland, Washington, 8496 Heated Up and Keep It Cool from Newhall, California, 7209 Tech Hogs Robotics from Springdale, Arkansas, and Team 8995 Jaegers from Heber, Arizona. The Innovate Award winner was 3409 Astromex from Kansas City, Missouri.
In fact, I'm here from Team 3409, the Astromex, to talk a little bit about the mechanism that got us that Innovate Award. It was our turbo encabulator, which was our glyph depositor mechanism. Many teams would use some sort of system where they would lift up two glyphs and then flip them in to deposit them, but we wanted to do it in one smooth motion, so we came up with this, the turbo encabulator. The real one is obviously on the robot, not made of popsicle sticks, but the way it works is it's a linkage that would start down like this, and in fact be powered by strings in between here, 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 and here. We only used one motor to power this to keep it simple, and it would pull this down and then allow the strings to launch the glyphs, launch them into the crypto box.
Did you make that for the show?
I did indeed, about 2 hours ago. In fact, one story. The original was made of popsicle sticks too. One of our awesome builders came in and he had a prototype. They weren't connected with staples, they were connected with zip ties, but I tried to keep it true to the spirit of the original.
Do you also have your bird in the background?
Well, he's in the other room, so hopefully there won't be any noises this time around.
I'm not sure if I like the name or the design even better. They're both great.
If you didn't watch last show where we talked with the West Super Regional, Winston's bird flew behind him on camera last show.
Yeah. That was a bit much.
Yes, it was pretty awesome. But honestly, every part of that robot was really, really unique. There wasn't anything that screamed like, oh, somebody else did this first. It was all really, really pioneered by the Astromex, and it's something that's very impressive.
Thank you. We certainly try to be as original as possible with our ideas.
Yes, so let's move on to the Design Award. Our nominees were Team 7696 RSF Singularity from Rancho Santa Fe, California, Team 4133 Fusion from Helena, Montana, Team 9829 the MacBots from San Antonio, Texas, Team 12016 Mishmash from, Beersheba, Israel, and Team 9028 the Philobots from Austin, Texas. The Design Award winner was Team 4717 the Macromancers from I'm blanking. Oviedo, Florida.
And the Mechromancers were also the Innovate Award winners at the South Super Regional. And we've got a video we're going to roll that we actually watched on the South Super Regional recap, but you can actually see their really cool, innovative design. So they actually have a custom wooden robot that is pretty uncommon in FTC. Not many teams do, but you can see that beautiful laser cut wood on their robot.
So we talked about this a little on the West show, but couldn't figure out how it worked. There's actually a spinner on the front. They don't just drive into the glyphs and grab them. I talked to someone on their team. So there's a rotating bar, as you can kind of see right in that frame a second ago. That bar rotates, pops the glyphs up, and then they grab the glyphs with the claws.
Yeah, and they have two separators, two wheels that actually push the glyphs to either side. That's one thing that I couldn't understand. How are the glyphs going apart? But it's because they actually, like every single step of that is automated with a continuous intake, so makes it very, very efficient.
Are the wheels on the bottom of the intake, like beneath the glyphs?
Yeah, so they actually, in their update video, they had an image of that. It's basically as soon as the glyphs come into the robot, there are two wheels right at the center, which actually roll it to either side, so that they push to either side and they can just grab it from the same place every time.
It's very innovative, very well designed.
They just make it look magical.
Yeah,
I love the wood look. Wood just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are really not that many teams that can do this well. I mean, the only other team I can think about is Quadex, who would be doing that almost every year. But this is Mechromancers also had this wood look last year when they were finalists at the World Championships, and I think like the way that they use it is very, very efficient. It's not just aesthetic, but it makes it very functional, very light, and very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was talking to their team, and they said that so their wheel channels and their drive base are made of MDF, and the rest of their robot is laser cut plywood.
In fact, speaking of plywood, I actually noticed a 7477 Super 7, also from Oviedo, Florida, also had cut out laser cut wood sides. So I wonder if that's a thing down in Florida.
Yeah, this is actually the first year that I've seen Super 7 using too much wood on that butt. I think they've used a bit before, but not to this extent, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that that was pretty cool, and maybe it is a Florida thing.
I don't know. All right, let's move on to our Motivate Awards. The Motivate Award nominees were teams 11056, the Y-Bot from Israel. Can't pronounce the city. 2856 Tesseract from Seattle, Washington. 10641 Atomic Gears from Shawnee, Oklahoma. 5220 Robo Knights from Fremont, California. And team 14290 from 14290 named 101 from Lebanon. So I guess before we continue, I have a quick question for Nick. I remember something happening with 14290. I remember they didn't play a match with a specific team. I think it was the Israeli team for political reasons. Is that correct? I don't want to spread rumors.
Yes.
I heard a little bit, but that is my understanding, yeah.
Yes, that happened. Actually, we, the Astromechs, were another one of the teams on the field during that match. I don't know much more about it, though.
Winston, you guys were partnered with a team from Israel, right?
Yes, we were.
And then they were partnered with a team from South Africa. And yeah, from what I was told, some people DM'd me on Discord that the Lebanese team did not want to play with the Israeli team due to political reasons far above a teenage robotics competition.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair decision of them to do that.
Yeah, I only heard speculation, but it sounds like they didn't really have much of a choice. So.
Wow, yeah, there are really a lot of factors that go into that. But so the Motivate Award winner was team 6832 Iron Rain from Dallas, and 6832 hasn't actually won the Motivate Award before Houston. They got an Innovate nomination at the South Super Regional, and they have a state championship Connect win. And sorry, I was muted. I think I'll go from the beginning real quick. 68 32 hasn't really won the Motivate Award before Houston. They got an Innovate nom at the South Super Regional, the State Championship Connect win, a Regional Connect Awards, a Regional Control Award, a few Inspire nominations between their state and regional tournaments. We couldn't find a lot about their work off the field, but 6832 Iron Rain must do a lot of outreach and connection in their community to win the World Championship Motivate Award.
Indeed, they must. So, on to our Control Award. The Control Award finalists were teams 9899 Black Diamond Robotics from Fort Collins, Colorado, 516 Gears of Fire from Palm Harbor, Florida, 3648 Beehive from Sandy, Utah. I believe that's what UT is. 12808 Revamped Robotics from Portland, Oregon, and 10337 Dark Matter from Mandeville, Los Angeles. Nope. Louisiana. Wrong LA. The Control Award winner was Team 9112 Skeleton Crew from Salt Lake City, Utah.
And Skeleton Crew had actually created their own computer vision library and then built a program on top of that all from scratch. Their custom CV program allowed them to really learn and get into the guts of FTC programming. And they had actually also won the Control Award at the West Super Regional.
Yeah, that team is pretty insane. We actually had to mention we actually mentioned him in the last one at the West Super Regional recap, and according to the chat, they are actually very open with their code, and they were willing to give it out to teams that just asked. And another quick thing about Skeleton Crew, they had a Dean's List winner. I forget the name, but congratulations to you. That's very, very impressive.
Is this one of their autonomous videos playing? It looks like.
It is,
we can see a little bit. Awesome. And a lot of the other nominees for the Control Award, really incredible and really worked with the essence of the award. And even not knowing a whole lot about them specifically, you can just discern that they really embodied that award.
Definitely. I think there are quite a few teams in there, such as 10337 Dark Matter. That team, I think they had a self-correcting 3-glyph. I was watching one of their matches where their alliance partner just rammed into them, but they just backed right out, self-corrected, scored those 3 glyphs, and they're one of the most consistent 3-glyph autos in the tournament, I think. Maybe the Control Award isn't always decided by just how high scoring your autonomous is, but to be that consistent, there's a lot that they must have done. So it was very, very impressive stuff.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to our Promote Award. Our Promote Award winner was Team 11089 Bites of Kit Kat from Portland, Oregon. And let's watch their Promote Award video.
First helps us think of our future, build new friendships, and stay focused while having fun. First alumni are 2.6 times more likely to enroll in an engineering course their freshman year. First pushes us to use our imagination and ingenuity to innovate and leave a positive impact on our community. First constantly impacts girls so they can have the opportunity to be involved in STEM.
First makes us responsible, encourages us to take risks, refine our designs, and helps us to be role models for others.
First helps us learn about STEM, provides scholarships, strategize to reach goals, and have team spirit. First participants are 2 times more likely to show interest in STEM.
First encourages us to use teamwork to tackle challenges, trust our teammates, and teach others.
This is what we want the world to know about First!
Yeah, so Team 11089 Portland, we've had the pleasure of working with them quite a bit. Very, very local. So, that team, their videography is insane. They won this Promote Award at the Oregon State Championship. Actually, not just this year, but I believe last year as well. The way that they do their videos is just, they add an element that really makes it very appealing to someone who may not know a thing about First. It's just that the flashiness and the essence of their content, as well as the way that they present that content, just makes it very, very effective. I was super happy to see them win that. I was a little disappointed that they didn't get a nomination at West, but this truly made up for it.
Yeah, I guess before we continue talking about finals, I want to throw out the fact that Shishir's mentor won the Compass Award at the World Championship. So we can honor your mentor. Do you want to give a little shout out, talk about what he or she does?
Yes, yes. Coach Zinquin has been a part of First and FTC for about 14 years now. He started with his oldest son, and he started in FLL. And he's honestly been such an inspiration to like the entirety of Oregon FTC, and like more than that. He's been a volunteer. He's ran like almost single-handedly many events in Oregon, especially like a few years ago when like the way that Oregon was run, especially at the smaller tournaments, were all team-based. Like you had the host team who would like take care of like an entire thing. He was always that guy. He was always running that. And in fact, in 2016, he actually went over to Idaho because the Idaho State Championship didn't have enough volunteers, and he went, and then he was the lead, I believe, robot inspector as well as one of the referees there. So like in terms of his volunteering, that's what he does. But on the same time, he does so much in terms of just like helping his teams. He's had 4 FTC teams so far, and every single time he's taken us from scratch to like get to very, very large heights. He's taught us a lot about like the finer things of like like obviously the machining, the basics of programming, all of that stuff is crucial. But he's also taught us how to make a team successful, and I think that that's something that's very, very underrated in a coach. And like we can use those skills that he taught us to like apply to the actual world and apply beyond FTC, because there's only so much you can learn about like, okay, here's how to run an FTC team, but what he teaches like allows you to take it past that. So I mean, I was really, really happy to get him that award, and I think that like it was seriously long overdue.
Yeah, Tyler, I threw the link to the mentor Compass video there if we want to throw that up. Yeah, I mean, mentors are the base for that's the wrong video. You're all good. It's all good. Mentors are really what makes FTC run, makes FRC run, makes FLL run. So it's awesome that First nominates some of the some of the awesome mentors with the Compass Award. So I'll let the video play.
But the one thing that every member can tell you is how Coach has impacted their lives. He taught us how STEM can affect our futures. He taught us how to be leaders in our community. And, perhaps most importantly, he taught us how to build robots. He has not only impacted our team, he has positively impacted the entirety of FTC. He has repeatedly crossed state borders, playing a crucial role in running both Oregon and Idaho state events. By personally mentoring over 60 students in 6 First teams, he is a vocal advocate for STEM education in the Portland community. We would not have been able to get where we are today without Coach, which is why,
on behalf of Team 3531, the Short Circuits, Team 7013, Hot Wired Robotics, and Team 12599, Overcharged,
Team 12808, Revamped Robotics, proudly nominates Coach Zinquin Wang for the Compass Award.
Yeah, so, and a really funny story about this video. Actually, I was just on the Discord like at 1 o'clock, I think like in like March sometime, and someone told me at 1 o'clock that the videos were actually due that night. So like I had no clue. Like I did the same thing last year, but it was due like April 12th or something. So I thought I had like 2 weeks, but like no, it was due that night. So I just sat down for like 12 hours, just busted out this video. I was super happy that he was really able to get this. So
that's awesome. He sounds like a really deserving mentor. I mean, I can speak from experience. This year was my first time nominating our mentor for Compass, and one of our mentors since 2010 won Compass at our state level. So I think it's a great way to recognize mentors who are just awesome. Before we move on to finals, I just want to remind everyone watching, let's be respectful in the chat. Let's talk about FTC. If you want to mention something or two about FRC, I mean, I'm not really going to care, but let's just be respectful. Let's not call teams mentor built or mom built, even if they might be, but this is not the place to do that. So let's just have a nice, fun conversation, and let's get on to the Jemison Division Finals.
Okay, so the Blue Alliance in the Jemison Finals was comprised of 12973 Riker Robotics, 6929 Data Force, and 5220 Robo Knights. Red Alliance was comprised of teams 7105 Swift Robotics, 7161 Viperbots Hydra, and Team 7209 Tech Hogs Robotics. So the Red Alliance won matches 2 and 3, and they hit the soft cap, so 628 points in their third match, and exceeded it through a minor penalty. Blue Alliance accumulated. We have the first match from the Jemison Finals to watch, where the Blue Alliance won. That should be coming up right now.
Yeah, so just because the way Twitch does this video is split up into 2 parts, but here I think we have the beginning of auto through about a minute in, or minute into teleop. These are some great matches here. I forgot which alliance. The Red Alliance ended up winning the Jemison Finals 2-3, and the Red Alliance ended up losing to Redneck's Alliance in the Da Vinci Finals. But these were some great matches.
Yeah, one of the cool things, I spoke to Riker Robotics team. They're actually a rookie team who had no idea. They had no expectation that they would be even going to the Super Regionals. And they stepped it up and they built an awesome robot that they were able to actually be an alliance captain at championship as a rookie team that knew nothing about FTC going in.
That's probably a first for FTC, having a alliance captain being a rookie team. I mean,
well, in 2014, the World Championship winning alliance captain 7013 were rookies. So
wow. Never mind. Yep. So here's the rest of that match video.
Yeah, so this match was actually pretty insane. I was unfortunately not able to watch it. I was actually standing in the back talking to some Data Force guys. But like these finals were like seriously insane. You had like this #1 seed coming into it. I believe they won their semis by penalties. And like so there was the expectation was really like the expectation wasn't there. Like normally, like you have an expectation. Okay, like this alliance is probably going to win. This alliance probably is not. In this situation, that really wasn't the case. So I think it made for a lot more exciting, like division finals, because like it was really a toss up. Like look at this. Like it was barely the Blue Alliance's win here, but like
yeah, that's 4 filled crypto boxes. I think they all had ciphers. That's 4 relics. One of them seems to have fallen over, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The Red Alliance's relic fell over. I'm not sure if that was the thing that cost the match or not, but that was.
Yeah, this match was a 3-point split in the end.
Wow.
They actually won 552 to 549.
Yeah.
It was a nail biter.
Definitely. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and so like just going into like this division was the division of upsets. Like seriously, it was the division of upsets. Like in coming into this division, the two like there were a lot of really strong teams. You had Rise of Hephaestus, Rise of Hephaestus, 4216, Data Force, Dark Matter. Those guys were really the teams that like we thought were going to like close out the division, but there were, in terms of qualifying, like there were a lot of upsets. I believe Swift Robotics, the captain 7105, seeded first, Riker seeded second, and I believe the pianists from China seeded fourth. So all 3 of these teams, I mean, those weren't really up there in terms of what people had thought. So it really made for a very interesting dynamic between these teams, because I know like quite a few teams were practicing, like they were trying to figure out their kinks so that they could work effectively together, and like the eliminations just threw that on its head.
Yeah, and something I want to add from Sarah in the chat is that Rise was the Festival Champions winner from last year, which is really awesome. I think we're going to move on to the Franklin Division Finals. So the Blue Alliance in the Franklin Division Finals was comprised of 12,599 Overcharged, 98,99 Black Diamond Robotics, and 11,039 Innovators. The Red Alliance was comprised of teams 7750 M&Ms, 724 Redneck Robotics 1, and team 12611 Tech Nova. So similar to the Jemison Finals, the Red Alliance won 2 out of the 3 matches. So I think we've got the first match on the Franklin Finals to watch, where the Blue Alliance won. Something I do want to add, here, let me pull this up. A member from 12-6-11 Tech Nova reached out to me, who were partnered with Redneck, and they wanted me to point out on the show that Redneck's defense was legal according to FTC rules, and that the yellow card that their alliance got was not for egregious play or aggressive play, but it was because Redneck extended their relic arm outside of the wall, outside of the playing field, so that gave them the yellow card, not their egregious play. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, let's just analyze this auto period. Over on the Blue Alliance, you have 9899. They're using that rain sensor on a stick that we've seen on quite a few teams over here. Overcharged over there had a very solid 1 glyph, and Tech Nova over here, I believe that was a 1 glyph for Overcharged, I'm not sure. But Tech Nova had this 4 glyph, or tried for 4 glyph, 2 glyph. Yeah, they had this 2 glyph auto that actually, like, they went in the glyph pit at before dumping. So I mean, that shows like what they were trying to achieve. That 4 glyph makes it very, very insane over there. I think that was pretty interesting, that how they actually managed to slip down to a second pick position.
Yeah, very interesting for sure.
So as this match progresses, we'll see. I really enjoyed seeing the dynamic between this Blue Alliance actually. Going into the eliminations, Black Diamond actually had a rough qualifying schedule. I don't think they were ranked too high, but they really pulled it through in these eliminations. They were insane. And at the same time, just a disclaimer, Team 12599 Overcharged, they are our sister teams. We work out of the same shop. We're very close. So there might be a little bit of bias over here, but hey, what is this without a little bias, right? They've made some massive improvements to their robots since the West Super Regional. They've added a lot of bracing, and they've been able to, they've added a claw for their glyph dumper, which allows them to get this like 1 minute 15 second cipher. Both of these robots, I think, on this Blue Alliance really were very good, which allowed them to get this. I believe this match is the one that they won, which it really allowed them to get up there. But at the same time, that Red Alliance, they're not slacking either. Both Tech Nova and 724 had very solid machines. 724, the way that they played, they had a very smart style of play where they would sort of try to play that defense while going for that. While going for their scoring objectives, and that really, I believe, allowed them to take the edge in finals matches 2 and 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is something to be said about knowing the rules so precisely, which is something Redneck has done year after year, even playing some defense, which is a little controversial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, their defense definitely showed in the scores that came out of kind of all the matches they were a part of. Comparing the Detroit finals to the Houston finals, there was no one. I don't think anyone soft cap. I don't think anyone got a world record of 7-0. No one got a world record of 7:08. It's partly because of Redneck's defense. Probably a little bit because of just the robots that were playing there, but just having defense plays really can slow teams down and limits their ability to cipher quickly and get those relics out. So it's a really smart strategy.
Mm-hmm. And especially this year, when there wasn't all that much defense that was played like earlier in the season, teams really haven't had the opportunity to play against really heavy defense. So 724 definitely was in a great place to play defense that nobody was quite expecting and nobody was practiced against.
Yeah, I really think that this kind of like what we've seen over here, that kind of dynamic is going to change quite a bit. This is a bit of a segue, but I think we have a little bit of time, so I'm just going to touch upon this briefly. But I think that when we move into like what we're doing next year without the Super Regionals going directly from the state championships to Worlds, it's going to throw a real wrench into the dynamic that teams have created, because they're no longer going to be able to see what teams in their area are planning on doing or how they play. Because for us, the first time we encountered Redneck's defense was in West Super Regional. And then we sort of overcharged. They added quite a bit mechanically to their robot to sort of brace themselves against specifically that kind of defense. And like that kind of thing won't happen anymore because we just don't play with those teams.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's especially bad in the West region where there's just so much geographic space between like teams and between partners.
Yeah.
That I know in Northern California, I think we've had 3 or 4 teams from another region play in the last 4 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, especially there's not much for teams to do. Like if you gotta travel, you gotta travel a lot. I think I was talking to Rise of the Faceless. They like I think crossed 3 state borders just to compete. Like it was insane. Like there's not that many regionals close by for these teams, so it makes it really really hard to deal with different styles of play.
It's not the Midwest where you can drive 2 hours away and get 2 other partners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move on to the Da Vinci Finals, guys?
Yeah, sure.
I'd say so.
I think we have the giveaway first.
Oh yeah, giveaway first. Sorry, my bad. Guys, it is time for the giveaway. Our keyword for this giveaway is smart servos. Smart servos, guys. Spam that into the chat. This is one of the only times that you're actually allowed to spam in the chat. But if you type in smart servos, you'll have the chance to win 2 smart robot servos from Rev. One of the interesting things is that they're out of stock right now. So you'll have the chance to get them even though they're out of stock. So spam that keyboard.
And like honestly, smart servos are amazing. I think we used 9 on our robot this year. It was an incredible amount, but they are so versatile and so easy to use. And just being able to program and set your own limits well past the standard 180 degrees and switch to continuous mode, they are awesome. I cannot speak enough for how nice they are. And their performance for the price is unmatched.
Yeah, definitely. Those we've actually used quite a few of those as well, and that flexibility really allows us to use them in ways that regular servos, the high technic servos, really can't match up to. So I really think that this is insane, and they're out of stock. So like, there you go.
Right. Yeah, and one of the things I'll remind everyone in the chat is, in order to win the giveaway, first you have to type in smart servos. The second thing you have to do is hit follow for the First Updates Now channel. Following not only allows you to win the giveaway, but you'll then get a notification, of course, if you turn that on, for every single fun show, so that you'll know when FTC Live goes live and when other fun programming starts. Additionally, if you subscribe, you can do that for a few dollars, or if you have Twitch Prime, you can. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free through Twitch Prime. You get a 5x chance on every single giveaway that happens here on Fun. So make sure you do that.
All right. So shall we move into the finals, the Da Vinci Finals on Minute Maid Park?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So the Da Vinci Finals in Minute Maid Park brought together the winning lines from the Franklin Division and the Jemison Division. From the Franklin Division, there was Team 7750 Mechanical Maniacs. Woo! Oregon represent. Team 724 Redneck Robotics 1, and Team 12611 Tech Nova out of Washington. Where in Washington? Is it Seattle?
They're in Bellevue.
Bellevue. Oh, all right. Pretty close. And Redneck Robotics is from Montana as well. The Jemison Alliance was Team 7105 Swift Robotics. Not sure where they're from. 7161 Viperbots Hydra out of Texas, and Team 7209 Techog Robotics out of Arkansas, I believe. The winning alliance, after taking it to 3 matches, was Team 7750 Mechanical Maniacs, Team 724 Redneck Robotics 1, and Team 12611 Tech Nova. Congratulations. Let's check out the first match from the Houston Finals.
The field of dreams. Here we go in the autonomous period. 30 seconds to score as many glyphs as they can.
All right, guys. Yep. So we can see this autonomous getting started right now.
Definitely. Yeah. I think one of the things to notice in this autonomous is Mechanical Maniac, the Alliance captain, actually missed their autoglyph entirely. So that definitely, I believe, put them in a disadvantage. And I mean, as you can see, there's live scoring for the finals. Hopefully that gets translated to next year for every competition. But you can see how much of a disadvantage the Blue Alliance really is at right now. I think neither of these alliances were successful with the multiglyph. Neither of these teams on the Blue Alliance. Surprisingly enough, Redneck Robotics doesn't have a multiglyph at all. But by doing that, I believe that there was a bit of a disadvantage that was really pulled together through the teleop performance. However, I still do believe the Blue Alliance loses this match.
One thing to note about the live scoring is that there was issues with accuracy for auto, so sometimes the gaps that you see aren't quite as great as they're shown on screen.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and now that live scoring does seem like it would be extremely tough to do in this game, especially because knocking glyphs out of your crypto box can happen, and that's a huge way to make the points change very, very quickly and be kind of hard to calculate on the fly like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think live scoring was great. It definitely helped the audience mainly. There's a lot of people in the audience that are there for the FLL portion or the FRC portion of the tournament. So they have zero idea really what's going on, especially scoring-wise. And also, FRC folks are accustomed to having live scoring because I'm pretty sure it's a requirement. It might be a field. Tyler can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it a field fault if the live scoring isn't working because teams can rely on that?
It depends. It's not necessarily a field fault, but FRC has had pretty reliable live scoring now since about 2011, 2012 season.
Yeah, so it really helps, especially when you're at a championship.
I just want to say it's nice to see what this game looks like, because sitting in the seats at Minute Maid Park, I had absolutely no clue what this game actually looked like.
Yeah, you couldn't see anything.
It was about 100 yards away.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I got to ask you guys real quick, too. What the heck was up with announcing the wrong winner in Finals 2? Of the announcer saying that a team won the World Championship and then takes it away from them after. It's not the announcer's fault, by the way. 100% not the announcer's fault. But what a ridiculous mistake by a professional AV crew to do that. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I think that's completely unacceptable, and I would demand more from FTC.
No, yeah, I think part of the confusion, if you look at the display for FTC, is it shows up in glaring letters and big font says which alliance won, and then below that in smaller text it tells you if the series was tied or if the winner was actually your winner. So what happened is, I think it was the Red Alliance, Blue Alliance won this, then Red Alliance won that. It said Red Alliance won, but then down below it said series tied in smaller font, so that they don't make it as obvious that there was a tie 1-1. So it's definitely a little bit confusing. It's like the Steve Harvey and the Steve Harvey incident.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
In that match, I believe the one that Tyler's specifically referencing, the score changed a bit. I'm not sure why that score changed. I haven't had the pleasure of talking to anyone about it. I forget, but in fact, they said that the Blue Alliance, I believe, had won everything. They won both matches, but then the Red Alliance actually had won because the score changed.
Yeah, so sorry, but Sarah in the chat told us, so I guess someone gave the announcers a score before it was actually finalized, and the game announcers didn't look at the scorekeepers to make sure that they had their thumbs up, which is typically a signal between field crew, to Tyler, it's Sarah, yeah, whatever, to make sure, so I guess they didn't wait for the scorekeepers to confirm that the score was actually correct. And since they were using live scoring, a lot of people were going off the live scoring, but that's not totally accurate, as we've just been saying right now, because it's really hard to track which glyph is where, what color is where, if glyphs are actually scored. So yeah, I'd say just wait. Don't always rely on live scoring.
Yeah, that's very disappointing. But I mean, at the same time, I believe I would expect a little bit more. But it was a mistake. It was an honest mistake. I would be disappointed if I was that alliance, but hey, they won the tournament anyway. So
yeah, and as a person who was the other game announcer at the championship, it's so easy to make one little mistake like that. So I totally empathize on that side.
Yeah, I think before we end the show, we have an interesting qualification match to watch. If we want to pull up that video, Jemison qualification match. 129.
Oh yeah, Bites of Kit Kats. They're making this. They've made the show 3 times so far. Yeah, those guys just have a lot of stuff. So in this match, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh yeah, so in this match, basically what happened was you had the Tech Hogs and Bites of Kit Kats on this alliance, and in Autonomous, the 2 robots actually collided, as you can see right here, which actually flipped the Tech Hogs robot. Which will happen right now. And so that was pretty devastating because, yeah, right there. Their faces.
Ouch.
All right. Yeah, but so basically they flipped. The Tech Hogs flipped, and then Bites of Kit Kats, in like the spirit of gracious professionalism, said, "Hey, let's flip our alliance partners over." But then, in the process of flipping their alliance partner over, they flipped themselves. Yeah. So
You can see the disappointment on their face in the driver's station.
Oh man.
Hey, wait, there's more. Eventually, it'll actually take a while. But as you can see over here right now, Team 7209 is dragging their belt, which means that they will be unable to score the relic. Their relic mechanism is broken. They're playing as hard as they can. Bites is they're not giving up. But like it doesn't seem at this point that there's much to do. On the other alliance, you have 5110. Wingus and Dingus out of New Zealand. That team, they're a very, very strong team. They will get a cipher in this match, and by like doing this, like it seems grim. But then
there we go. They're back.
They realize that they could have done that, and they use their relic arm to push themselves up.
Did that break their relic arm?
That damaged their relic arm servo, but they still managed to score their glyphs. Unfortunately, because they damaged that relic arm, it's not going back in. I'm not sure if they're able to get that relic, but that put them at a bit of a disadvantage.
And the crazy thing about this whole match, in addition to the double flip, is that they ended up being 367 to 366. The Blue Alliance, who had the double tip, lost by a single point.
Damn,
really
so
impressive
close.
on their part.
That was definitely very, very disappointing. And in fact, like that threw a bit of a wrench in the ranking score of this entire of the entire division, because it was honestly predicted that this Blue Alliance was going to win that thing like easily, and then the Blue Alliance was going to then be able to rank much higher, pushing down quite a few teams.
Sorry to interrupt you. We can see right at the end they did go for the relic, so something did work.
They seem to have gotten
so
both
I
of them,
guess
too.
the relic arm was functional. That's insane. They pushed their entire robot up with that, but hey, it still worked.
Someone did say in the chat that the relic mechanism was somewhat shattered. I think it's 3D printed, but then they got it reprinted later on and replaced. But it still worked, so props to them. Before we go into the final thoughts, I think we're going to roll for our giveaway. But before that, you have one more chance. Type in Smart Servos. Make sure that you are following. And if you subscribe, you get a 5 times chance at winning. Additionally, while we're waiting, you guys can buy bits on Twitch. And if you buy bits and donate them to Fun here, Fun gets some money. And that helps create more content, create better content, and keep this show alive. And allows us to keep doing all the awesome things that we're doing right now. So I'll give everyone another second.
Yeah, and the match 129 was probably the most exciting match of the competition, excluding the fact that it wasn't an elimination or finals match. But the crowd went absolutely crazy when they managed to flip themselves back up again with their relic mechanism.
It's one of the most exciting matches I've ever been on the mic as a game announcer. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, there's probably a lot of emotions going on right there.
Yes, I bet. And as a little backstory, we made a really big tank in rescue and fell down the ramp and drove back up. And it's like in that moment, there is nothing else. There is the robot, and you. Oh my goodness, I can go again. And it's all of your practice, and it's one of the advantages of practicing a lot and doing something over and over and over, because in that moment you can't think about it. It's just going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Go ahead.
Continue, Winston. No, you go.
All right. It's really tough, in fact, when something happens that you haven't practiced. One of those things actually did happen to us. I don't know if you saw this match, but at one point I said our turbo encabulator mechanism throws glyphs into a crypto box. Well, it accidentally threw a glyph on top of the crypto box. So we spent about 20-ish seconds there sitting stunned. That's never happened before. It's kind of terrifying. I remember it like 3-ish feet from my face.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey guys, while we're still waiting on people to type in smart servos, we'll roll for the giveaway in a second. If you guys have any questions you would like us six to answer, please tag at First Updates Now right now so that we can get to those questions before we head off to do the top 20. So with that, Tyler, I think we should roll for the giveaway.
Yep, let's go ahead and do that. Thank you to everybody who has submitted. And as Nathan said, don't forget we do have the FTC Top 20 and some future outlooks coming up in a little bit. So the winner is going to be TNT8770, a subscriber. Thank you very much for subscribing. You have won a 2-pair set of the Smart Robot Servo from Rev Robotics. Big thank you to Rev Robotics for making the donations. We hope that, by the way, guys, if you want more donations, reach out to Rev Robotics and let them know that you want more donations on First Updates Now on FTC Live. Make sure you shoot me your contact information, your name and shipping info in a PM, and that's how we can get that shipped out to you. So thanks a lot to Rev Robotics.
Yeah, before we finish off, we have a question from Sarah Fagua, who was on the chat or on the show an hour ago. So, guys, what was the most exciting match in your opinion, and what was the most exciting team?
Okay, I'll lead this one off. My most exciting match, I actually had a tie for this one. At the Iowa State Championships, we used a strafing turn in our autonomous and knocked a jewel back onto the jewel pad for our alliance partner. And then had a repeat of that at the championships with Mechanical Paradox Cubed. So that was kind of both a stun moment of, wait, where'd our autonomous points go?
Wow.
Yeah, I think mine was absolutely match 129 on Jemison. That, double flip was just absolutely incredible.
I could not agree more. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta say, in terms of eventfulness, that's something that you really only see in FRC. Like when teams try to flip themselves back over. Generally in FTC, when you're flipped, you're done. That's sort of what happens more or less. But because of Bytes, their drivers, really the ability for them to think on their feet, they led to a very, very, very interesting match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think we're going to go to the next question. What are your opinions on the number of alliances in the playoffs? Personally, I think it's kind of perfect right now. I don't think that FTC has the depth yet in order to expand to 8 alliances. Ethan and I were talking about this pre-show. I just don't think that we'd see competitive enough play if we expanded to 8 alliances with 3 teams. Maybe we could do 8 alliances with 2 teams. That's 16 teams, so 4 more in the playoffs. That would probably be just as competitive, maybe even a little more. Thoughts, guys?
It would be, but then again, with 2 teams on an alliance, what happens if somebody breaks? Then that whole alliance is pretty much out.
What happens is exactly like that, or what happens something that happened to Rise of Hephaestus with they had problems with their intake. They could put in their other 2 partners then for the next match to fill in for them while they tried to fix it. Then you don't have that anymore, and I feel like we'd end up with a lot more problems, kind of like the Detroit finals, where there's disconnects or problems. Not that those were because robots were broken, but I feel like there'd be a lot more quote unquote disappointing matches then.
Yeah.
They could always do something like FRC with backup robot coupons, where you can actually get the highest ranked unpicked team to join your alliance. But that would that means a permanent substitution, at least in FRC, which might not be as desirable either.
Yeah, I would actually have to disagree with this. I think that 8 alliances with 3 teams each would be a great addition, but only to champs. The reason that I say this is obviously qualifiers, some qualifiers don't even have 24 teams, so you're not going to be able to do that. But at champs, I really do believe that there is the depth of field to be able to do this. For example, because I was in Jemison, that's sort of what I'd like to see. Team 12670 Eclipse, the 5th seed, a very, very incredible robot. Unfortunately, missed the elimination bracket. And there were quite a few teams that I felt missed the elimination bracket, which they easily could have gotten into with those 8 teams, and they would have been extremely competitive in. So I think that 8 teams at champs would be a great idea, but that's not the way that it's panning out right now.
Yeah.
And actually, maybe with 160 teams, if they stay with 2 divisions.
That's true.
Yeah.
That would be. They would actually probably want to do that, just so that you can actually get down enough of that depth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Ethan, your member on your team, Lincoln, keeps throwing this in the chat. What do they mean by Ethan Jewel _ what?
I kind of already told this story. That was the champs MP3's Jewel we knocked back on.
Yeah. Our last question is about what are our summer plans for this stream. So I guess I can talk from an FTC Live perspective, and then Tyler can talk a little more. I mean, here on the show, we haven't really talked exactly what our summer plans are, but to me, I see this show doing maybe a few segments. So I know we've talked about a programming segment, something about outreach, and some other things about robot design and robot creation. A lot of things to help rookie teams and help teams who may not be at that top competing level yet. Another show that we want to do, hopefully sooner rather than later, is get some people maybe from the game design committee or some executives involved with FTC, some of the key volunteers on, to talk to them about improvements for FTC and kind of what's the next step for making FTC an even better and more awesome program. Tyler?
Yeah, totally on board with you, Nathan, on that. And guys, it's really reliant on you guys for watching, right? We want to make content that you're going to enjoy and you're going to watch, so we'd be delighted to have your honest and truthful feedback on what we can do to not only get you engaged, but to get you to tell other people to watch these as well. Now, Nathan, I'll tell you something that I think would be really cool. In FRC, we do a show called Funalysis. And what we do in that is that we watch matches. We have a telestrator or like a teleprompter like you see in the NFL, and we draw on screen and break down the strategic breakdowns of a match. So I think that'd be really cool to do on something like this as well. It's been a big hit for FRC, and I think it could be a huge hit for FTC as well.
I watch Fun a lot just because I'm always interested in FRC. So I've seen a bunch of those. Another thing you guys can do is if you guys have ideas for the show, join the FTC Live Discord. I just threw it in the chat 2 or 3 times. There is a link under idea. There's a channel that's ideas for the show. There's a link right there. So if you guys have any suggestions for the show, you guys can fill that out, and either we'll let you help us write it, or we'll take your idea and write it ourselves.
Somebody mentioned, by the way, get a Rev or Andy Mark person. There is absolutely, it is a huge possibility that we can get Greg Nadell, Andy Baker, anybody else from Andy Mark to come on and talk. I'm very good friends with both of those individuals, and maybe do something like an Ask Me Anything, as long as it's appropriate. Ask Me Anything about it. But if that's something you guys are interested in, we'd love to do that.
And one of the things we're planning on, or I'm personally planning on trying to figure out, is next year at kickoff, we plan to, I know Rev and I think maybe Andy Mark both do Robot in 3 days. I can't remember if they do them together or separate. So we might be streaming that here on Fun. I can't make any promises though. But we would also, on kickoff day, either that Saturday or Sunday, Ethan and I would get on. We are hoping to talk to guys from Andy Mark and Rev about the game, about some ideas, and about the great products they're going to probably bring out for next year as kind of a kickoff for the season. And then we'll do a bunch of shows throughout the season next year to give updates periodically about what teams are doing. We'll probably do a show all about robot reveals, so we'll have you send us your favorite or your best robot reveals. Maybe we'll do a voting. We'll do a voting for that, so you guys can vote on 30 robot reveals. And then we'll talk about those. We've got a lot of fun stuff, but biggest thing is please join the FTC Lab Discord. I know there's a lot of people that get mad because I ping you a lot. Mainly I'm pinging you to tell you that there's a show. If you're in the FTC Lab Discord, I expect that you want to watch the show. But at the same time, you can join all the conversations about the show and give Ethan and I and everyone else involved your awesome ideas. So I think we've got an interview from Omega Robotics. I think we're going to do that, and then actually, you know what? We're going to go to our ending first, and then do the Omega Robotics interview right before the FTC Top 20. Ethan?
Okay, so thank you everyone who's helping make this show possible. If you like what we do here on Fun, all that we ask, like we talked about, is that you click that follow button and invite others to come watch our shows, including FTC Live and other fun shows especially, and be a part of this great community. Please consider donating, giving bits, or subscribing so we can help keep providing great content for you guys.
Yeah, so on behalf of myself, Ethan, and our producer, Tyler, working behind the scenes, I would like to thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all of our amazing guests for providing their expertise, and thank you to all of our moderators in the chat. If you are watching live, our FTC Top 25 and our look ahead at our FTC Top 20. Ugh, my bad. And our look ahead at FTC in 2019 and beyond is coming up in 2 to 3 minutes. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time or in a few minutes on FTC Live. And if you're watching live, we're going to show an interview with Team 7261 Omega Robotics from the Detroit Championship.
Checking in once again at FTC for FTC Live. We're going to take a look here at Omega Robotics. Fantastic team, 7261. These are your winners of your North Super Regional. Getting also another award there, too. And we're going to check out this amazing machine. So I'm here with Albert and Quinn. And Albert, I want to start out with you were telling me about your drivetrain that you guys have, because this thing is a beast. So let's tip this over and take a closer look here. And I want you to grab the mic here and tell me a bit more about it.
Yeah, so our mechanism wheel drivetrain, we CAD'd weeks in advance before the actual build. So by doing this, we were allowed to put all 8 of our motors, our maximum of 8 motors in our drivetrain for an extremely low center of gravity. And if you notice that these gears are geared across the bottom of the bot to power spools on both sides of the bot. So when I pull the relic lift up like this, both gears spin on the outside, and as well as, Quinn, could you pull that out? Just pull it out. Yeah, there you go. And then the gears are spinning on the inside. So by having a lot of our mass in the bottom of the bot, we are able to balance really easily during the game.
So looking at your robot as well, too, guys, you got a lot going on here, some other complexities. But one thing I want to point out, we were talking earlier that, of course, compliant wheels have been a big thing this year, but you guys are like, no, we don't want those little 4-6-inch things. So let's look at the front of the robot here. And Quinn, I want you to tell me about these cool compliant wheels you guys made.
All right, so in the beginning, we actually tried using the compliant wheels, but they didn't just have enough flexibility for what we wanted to do. They weren't large enough, and they didn't have enough give. So we turned to 3D printing for kind of an unconventional solution. We used a flexible filament, and we've tried many different diameters, textures, coatings, even a few materials to make these wheels perfect. They help us align the cubes and intake them very efficiently.
So as you guys are looking at climbing through the rankings, you're seating high here at the FTC Championship. What do you guys look for most in an alliance partner? If you guys were in the number 1 picking position, what really makes you say, hey, this is the type of team I want to play with in elimination rounds?
So personally, we have a very strong teleop, so we are capable of doing all the challenges within the given time limit. So if we were to look for an alliance partner, we'd be looking for someone that has a very, very strong auto, as we're not capable of scoring both auto points. We're relying on a partner to do that part.
All right, Quinn, I'm going to put you on the spot here because nobody's going to see this till championships is done. If you had to pick one team right now in your division, who would it be to play with you?
It would have to be Brainstormers. I feel like their auto just complements ours the best, and they are a very capable team.
He's ready to go and really prepared. Best of luck to Omega Robotics here at the FTC Championships. Thanks, guys.